How's it going, everybody? And welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about, in this video, I should say, we're going to talk about why can't people get married? Now, these days, people just really have trouble finding the one, especially when you're living in populated cities. So many options, so many people, yet it's impossible to find the one. Now, the reason is people don't want to settle down, and they shouldn't, of course not. But, people want what they want, but there should be a balance between not settling down and finding what they actually want. Let me explain. Now, the older we get, the pickier we get. Okay. We're all looking for a unicorn instead of a really amazing horse. Unicorns don't exist, by the way, and that is the point. People are looking for something that or someone that doesn't exist. And I want to use an example from a movie to get into this topic a little deeper. The movie is called Mr. Nobody. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Mr. Nobody, then perhaps you shouldn't continue watching this video. But I must say that the example I'm going to use does not ruin the plot. The movie stars Jared Leto. It was more of an experimental film. It's one of those movies that it's hard to understand. It's filled with, it's very rich with metaphors and symbolism. It kind of reminds me of like a Donnie Darko, but it's more of a love story. It's complicated. It's a good movie though. So in the movie, there's a again, this does not ruin the plot. That there is a situation where there's a young girl who's about 15 years old, and she's in love with this older kid who's a cool kid. He has like a leather jacket on, and they had a thing, I suppose, but he just later wanted nothing to do with her, and she was heartbroken. She's obsessed with him. She cannot get over him, and he just wants nothing to do with her. So there's a 15-year-old boy who sees this whole situation, and he goes up to her and he tells her that he loves her and he wants to be with her and he's going to marry her one day. And she tells him that it's very sweet, but she will always be in love and obsessed with this older kid. And he didn't take no for an answer. He told her it'll be okay. 20 years go by. They're married. They have children. And yeah, she's still in bed, depressed, cannot get over this guy. She just can't. She's crazy. So eventually, she leaves her family and she starts working at a hair salon. And while she's waiting for a client, she's sitting down and she's staring at the photo of the guy with the leather jacket. So, who walks in through the door? Finally, a client comes in. Who walks through the door? You guessed it. You guessed it. The guy with the leather jacket, except now he doesn't have a leather jacket. He's wearing, like, a normal suit. He has a little bit of a gut. He's losing some hair, but he's still a good looking guy. So, he comes in, she gives him a haircut. He pays her, gives her a tip, and he leaves, and she sits back down to look at that photo again, just to stare at it and obsess over it again. So, what does that tell you, right? That whatever she's waiting for, it's never going to come. Whatever she's looking for, it doesn't, or he doesn't exist, because the person that she was obsessed with walked right through that door and she didn't even recognize him. Okay. And even if she did, who's to say that he would? That's a different conversation. But either way, so she's looking for someone or something that doesn't exist. So the point is, ladies and gentlemen, yes, of course you shouldn't settle for anyone. But honestly, it feels like you're taking this "I don't want to settle for just anyone" thing a little too far. Okay, we need to have a balance of not settling and finding what you want. Okay, because it's kind of like, what it feels like out there is this episode of Seinfeld. Again, spoiler alert, but there's an episode where Jerry has a very attractive girlfriend and he breaks up with her because she shushed him. And he has this conversation with his friend, and they realize that they're immature and that they need to grow in life and they need to settle down, get married, whatever. They're enjoying their freedom way too much. And He goes back out on this date with her, and she ends up eating peas one at a time, and that irritates him, and he breaks up with her again. And that's what it feels like, that all this reality that we're living is an episode of Seinfeld in that regard. So that's it. I would love to hear from you. If you have a comment, please leave me a comment. If you like this video, give me a like and subscribe to my network. Until next time.